Deltarune. What it really means is kind of a mystery, whether that be on its own or relating to Undertale. And the prophecy is kind of the weirdest part. What's with all the ambiguity in the chapter 4 area? Why isn't everything clear if everybody understands it so well? Isn't it weird how Ralsei seems to understand the weird route? Because he's very happy to see us at the start of chapter 5 if we abort the scene with Noelle. Which is weird, because if he's aware of it, why is he not convinced that that could be the thing that changes the prophecy? Also, how is Sans in such an enlightened state of being? I mean, obviously he can read our expressions in the genocide run to know how many times that we've reset, and how to defeat us easier just based on how many times that we fought him. Not only that, but even in Deltarune, he understands to give us the bread to leave crumbs of where we're going, because he suspects that something is wrong with us. How did he achieve such knowledge? Like, how does that even happen? So basically, I've taken everything that I've been thinking about and tried to put it into a theory. Now obviously this theory isn't going to have a lot of evidence, it's just kind of weird coincidences that I kind of see whenever I play through Undertale and Deltarune. So at the end of this video, I kind of want to get your perspective on everything, just to kind of put some of the pieces together just in case I missed anything, because I really love theories and I think that this one is going to be pretty interesting for a lot of you. So before I start this up, I just want to quickly talk about what Toby has said in relation to Deltarune, because I think it's pretty important for understanding where the series is coming from. So Toby has said time and time again publicly that there is one ending, because if there is really one ending, then there would just be slight changes between what route you do, right? If Toby is truly being transparent here. And as far as I can tell, Toby has never really lied about anything that happens in Undertale or Deltarune. I mean, lore-wise, from what we've heard from him, which is very little. So it would be weird if he just overshadowed it with, there's only one ending here. What is the actual motive behind saying that? So before we look at Deltarune's prophecy too deeply, I want to go back and look at Undertale's prophecy, because it actually, I think, symbolizes the way that Toby wants to portray Deltarune's type of prophecy. So in Undertale, the Deltarune is also the religion of the monsters, so nothing has changed in that regard. The only thing that's changed is what the prophecy actually is. So basically, the prophecy revolves around an angel who has seen the surface. It is said that they will return and that the underground will go empty. Now, I don't know about you, but there is some similarities between this version of the prophecy and Deltarune's version. For one, the angel is back from Deltarune's prophecy because we know at the end we're going to have to banish the angel's heaven, whatever that means. But just based on this, we know for sure that the angel is actually the soul. And the thing is, this makes so much sense because, think about it, if we're doing the genocide run, the underground will go empty because we've killed everyone and we erase the world. If it is the true pacifist run, then think about it this way. We freed the underground because we've opened up the barrier, so there's no one left in it. The underground will go empty. And if it's the neutral route, Flowey gains all the 6 human souls and erases the underground because he becomes a god. So again, the underground goes empty no matter what we do. So this is where my theory comes in. If the angel is us, like truly, and we know that for sure, then what is the angel's heaven? I mean, do we have a heaven as the player of this game? And I think the answer is yes. I think it could be one of two things. And the first one is a lot more bleak than the second one. I think the first one is Deltarune, the game itself. Because us as the angel has the ability to play around in this world, treat it like we're God. So it is in a way kind of like our heaven, where we're allowed to do no matter what we want, and it'll always be fine with everybody else because they don't really have a say in any of it. So if that's the case, then what the hell is going to happen in chapter 7? Because in which case we would need to, erase Deltarune? How would that even work, and what the hell would that even mean for the ending? Now the second one is the one that I think is the most likely, which is the Dark Fountains. I think that it's very likely that the Dark Fountains are actually our heaven because it's where we get all of our gear, it's where we have the most fun, it's where we meet everyone, it's where Susie has the most fun too. So if we need to banish it away, then would that mean that every Dark Fountain must go? I think it's even more compelling because think of it this way. Susie destroys the final panel of the prophecy at the end of chapter 4, and the way that she describes it is absolutely horrible. Now I think the most important thing that she says out of her speech is, obviously I wouldn't let it happen, Chris wouldn't let it happen, and obviously you wouldn't let it happen. And she's absolutely right, none of those 3 characters would let it happen. But guess who would want it to happen? Us. I think that ultimately the way that this is going to end is that the final Dark Fountain is going to be sealed away, but it's not going to be out of the interest of any of the 3 party members, or even Noelle's interest. It's going to be of our interest. And honestly, I think that the prophecy is full of double meanings just like this, because it doesn't really tell the full story until you look into it. So first, I want to go through Chris's prophecy. Chris is described as the first hero, the cage, with human soul and parts. Doesn't that seem like kind of a weird description? I mean, nothing is even alluded to Chris besides the human soul, which is us. And I know what you're thinking. Yes, this does describe Chris. I mean, they're basically the cage that's holding us together, right? Like us and Chris, and we're the ones that possess his body. And you know what? You're absolutely right. But think of it this way. The prophecy never actually says that we need to stay inside Chris. Here's a hypothetical scenario. What if we were just inside the bird cage that Chris throws us in at the start of the game? Well, then the prophecy would still be fulfilled even if Chris wasn't around. I mean, the cage with human soul and parts. That's literally the same thing. It doesn't matter if we have Chris or not, so long as we're trapped in a cage. And Susie's prophecy is just as ambiguous as ours. I mean, it's described as the second hero, the girl, the one with hope crossed on her heart. Love finds its way to the girl. And this is also extremely smart writing by Toby. Because think of it this way, this could mean 2 different things. Number 1 is love finds its way to the girl, like Susie literally falls in love with Noelle in chapter 5, so the prophecy is fulfilled. But it could also mean level of violence finds its way to the girl, in which case Susie isn't the character that's in the prophecy, Noelle is. And if that is the case, then that means that whether we're on the normal route or the weird route, even if we have Chris or we don't have Chris, whether the second hero of prophecy is Noelle or Susie, the prophecy hasn't been broken. Okay, so hold on, that was a lot, so I already feel like I can kind of see what you're thinking. Well, the normal route and the weird route are so much different than each other, how could they possibly end in the same way? And I never said that they would end the same way, I'm just saying the prophecy will end in the same way. Because obviously, once the final Dark Fountain is sealed, the prophecy is over. Whatever happens after that in the story isn't written in the prophecy, so it could be anything. So I think that that's where the normal route and the weird route are going to be different. Not that they're not already different, but I'm just saying the prophecy will stay exactly the same. It's only the aftermath that will really see the damage that we've done after the weird route or the normal route. But so long as we're still in the middle of the prophecy, everything is gonna go exactly as planned. Also, I figured I might as well just throw this in here because I don't really know anywhere else to put it. But just based on the chapter 5 weird route, we already know that Chris is the one to create the chapter 6 Dark Fountain, which is why it, well, I mean, I don't know if it just doesn't happen in, after chapter 5, because it seems to tell us to skip the chapter 7 B-side, which is the weird route. Except, how are we going to get there without loading up an entire day in chapter 6? I don't think that there's going to be a Dark Fountain because obviously we're not going to be there to seal it, evidently, because we're at the bottom of a fucking lake. But I have to wonder what the hell is going to happen in chapter 6 in the between time of 5 and 7, because it's not like we can just skip an entire chapter unless, Toby lets us bring over a completion file from chapter 5, which is going to be kind of weird, don't you think? Something else that I really wanted to talk about too is the involvement of determination. Based on what we've seen, it seems like nobody in the light world has any idea of its existence. I mean, nobody understands human souls in Deltarune, nor do they even understand monster souls, really. And the weirdest part about all of this is that at the end of chapter 2, when Queen wants to spread darkness to the world, why does she mention determination like it's just a normal thing? Like, she says all Lightners possess determination, do they not? if that's the case, why can't anyone make a dark fountain of their own? And she's absolutely right. Susie has determination to a certain extent if she's able to open a dark fountain herself. So honestly, my question is, what is the significance of this? I mean, do monsters in Deltarune really have much more power than the ones in Undertale? And if that's the case, it starts to make sense why Sans can know how many times that we've reset, because he has determination just like everybody else in the world. And we know Sans in Undertale is from Deltarune just based on the fact that he has the card that says "Don't forget" with 3 people smiling on it. And we know now that those 3 people are Chris, Susie, and Ralsei. Well, I feel like that kind of explains why Sans is so knowledgeable based on the battle system, because he's learned to see it. He's learned to see it just like Ralsei explained in the Dark World with Flowery in Chapter 5 to Susie. That would also explain why Sans is so powerful when it comes to fighting us and why he can always understand our resets. It's because he can kind of see them the same way that Flowey does. Even if it's not to the same extent as him, he still understands enough of it, like, from his own capacity of determination. Also, Sans coming from from Deltarune to Undertale also confirms that I don't think we're going to be killing any Lightners other than Birdly, because, I mean, I don't know, because what would make Sans so afraid that he would have to run from Deltarune to come to Undertale? And what is the significance of the machine that he created? I mean, if he created it, and it really is him that created it, how can he not fix it? We also know that the secret experiment that is being worked on by Gaster, you know, the whole darker thing, the darkness keeps growing. This next experiment will be very, very interesting. Well, we know now that that is actually a dark world that Gaster was making. So if that's the case, how does this correlate to Deltarune? Is he the creator of the first Dark Fountain? And who are the 2 people that he's talking to inside that whole speech? Would it be Chris and Susie? Susie and Noelle, maybe? I have no idea. The only thing that we know for sure, though, is that he fell into his creation and then he got shattered across time and space. And we know now that his creation is the Dark Fountain. So obviously he must have fallen in by accident or gotten sucked into it whenever he was creating it. And if so, then that means that he's literally scattered across Undertale and Deltarune. He's trapped in the Dark Fountains, just like presumably Des is, right? Alright, one last thing before I finish off this video. Why can't monsters use magic in the Light World? I mean, maybe they can, but we've never seen them do it. It's weird because Susie can only use Rude Buster and Heal Prayer inside the Dark World, just like Noelle can only use Ice Shock and Heal Prayer inside the Dark World. And it's also weird because the only time we ever see a Lightner come into the Dark World by accident is Undyne, who only uses her spears in the Dark World. You're telling me that Undyne couldn't fight whoever it is that's kidnapping her in the Light World, that she's really as powerful as she is in Undertale with magic? What the hell is the deal with that? So those last few questions are where I want your guys' opinions, because I really want to see if there's any answers to this, because quite frankly, I have not looked through all of the evidence that there is available. So if you guys have any answers, make sure to let me know, because I will be reading all your comments. So hopefully you guys like my theory. I'm calling it single end theory because it's kind of like there's only one ending to Deltarune and it kind of foreshadows like the double meanings. So that's what I named it after. It is single end theory. Feel free to use it or to reference it whenever you want, but that's pretty much it for me. All right, let me know if you liked, and let me know if you didn't. All right, see ya.